Trevenant has officially been released in Pokemon Unite, and with it came a massive balance patch, which we are going to look at in this video. Also, if you want to check me out, I play Pokemon Unite live over on Twitch TV. Feel free to stop in. But let's get into this patch. So first is Dragonite, which I think everybody could agree needed to be nerfed. Starting off, his basic attack range is being reduced. Okay. Hyper Beam being nerfed, as I think a lot of people would say it needed to be. You see the base damage going down. You see extreme speed, the range is being increased with the cooldown being reduced. So, and then lastly is Unite, the energy cost is doubling. So now the min charge that you lose if you cast on yourself is 50% instead of the 25%. Overall, I would say these are all good changes. I don't know if the extreme speed buff is going to make it compete with Dragon Dance. I think Dragon Dance is still too strong, and we'll still see whether this Hyper Beam nerf was enough to make it not be the best smite in the game. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Next, we got Serena, another Mon that a lot of people would agree is very strong in the meta right now. Triple Axle getting a nerf. Its damage going down, and the damage from its passive Queenly Majesty is also going down. Same happening for the Triple Axle Plus. And at the same time, they're buffing Stomp. They're increasing the heal that you get, but decreasing the damage. And the cooldown for Grassy Glide is increasing. So overall, again, I think these changes are healthy. Serena is way too strong. Triple Axle getting a bit of a nerf. Stomp getting a bit of a buff. So maybe Stomp will be a viable moveset. But with the cooldown increasing on Grassy Glide, her passive isn't going to proc as much. So another Mon that'll have to be checked in on. Next we have Talonflame. Fly, okay. Cooldown going from 9 to 12 seconds, damage being reduced. And this note, if you hit at least one enemy Pokemon, the cooldown is reduced by 40%. So I think this is a really smart change. So what it's doing is if you're using Fly as an escape tool instead of a initiate tool, then you're going to get a longer cooldown. But if you land it on an enemy, then you can get a reduced cooldown. And I think that's a really smart change they made. Now, Aerial Ace is getting a heal. Okay, could be interesting. Maybe Brave Bird Aerial Ace will be the stronger moveset again. Definitely worth testing, but I like the changes. I think Fly was a little bit too strong, so very good. Now Lucario getting another set of nerfs. I still think Lucario is one of the strongest mons in the game, so it makes sense to touch him a little bit. They are nerfing the damage to Meteor Mash, which obviously affects his early game when he's very strong, so I think that's a good change. Extreme Speed is finally getting touched. Power Up Punch, I think, has been nerfed multiple times, and they haven't really touched Extreme Speed, so I think this is a good job. Base damage decreasing, the heal decreasing. So I think Extreme Speed may be coming back to the pack a little bit. But then on the other hand, they're going to be buffing Close Combat. They're giving it a Unstoppable and a heal. So I think Close Combat Lucario could be a strong moveset along with Power Up Punch. I think you'll see a lot of Lucarios with Close Combat coming out of the game now. And they fixed a bug with Power Up Punch. That's good. Now we're getting to the Mons that could actually use some serious buffs here. Charizard. So Charizard is slightly slower when he's using his basic attacks. They've reduced the amount that he gets slowed from 15% to 5%. And then Flamethrower and Flyer Blast can now be cast while moving, and the range on his Unite increased. All of these are great changes for Charizard. He's very squishy early, and when he's not in his Unite, so being able to cast while you're moving and not have to stand still to cast, it's gonna be a lot harder to catch him. He can kite a lot better. I think this will help Charizard be a lot better off than he is now. Okay, moving on to Decidueye. Lifesteal going up. Spirit Shackle, range increase, and you can now hold 3 stacks, and they fix a bug. Razor Leaf, increase ratio, increase damage, same with this boosted. And then a hindrance buff on the Leaf Storm. I'm guessing that's the slow that you get from it, or push back farther potentially. So they're boosting both Razor Leaf and Spirit Shackle. So I'm guessing Razor Leaf is still going to be the preferred moveset. I think that these are necessary changes. Decidueye is outclassed by Greninja and Cinderace. Um, I don't know if this is going to be enough to bring him ahead of those or even with those, but they're definitely needed, so it'll be worth trying out. Okay, on to Machamp, another Mon that just gets outclassed by the other all-arounders. He's getting improved lifesteal, increased damage on his Karate Chop, which will definitely help in his early game when he's pretty weak, help him last hit better. And then the range on Dynamic Punch is increased, and submission damage and self buff effects are now activated even if the imposing Mon isn't CC'd. So, again, another Mon that needs improvement. I don't know if improving his early game by a small amount is going to be enough to make him viable and just a little bit more lifesteal. I think he falls off too hard in the late game compared to the other all arounders, but we'll have to see. Next, we got Gengar. Now, Gengar has some big changes coming. The learn order has been swapped. Moves that are learned at 5 are now learned at 7, and vice versa. So, what happened was they switched Hex and Dream Eater and Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb between 5 and 7. So now you get Hex and Dream Eater first. I don't know how this is going to play between, lane and jungle. I think it's an interesting change. I feel like Shadow Ball is probably something you'd rather have at 5 than 7, but Dream Eater is nice to have that CC early. But then they also nerfed the Hex damage and the Hex plus damage. So again, I think that Dream Eater's Shadow Ball moveset is probably still the better option. And they also gave it a reset on Dream Eater when you knock out an opposing Pokemon. So I think Shadow Ball Dream Eater is still the way to go, but we'll see how switching the learn order affects how Gengar plays. Next we have Garchomp. So huge buff to Garchomp. We'll see if it's enough to bring him out of the lower tier of all-arounders. You get an increase of defense and special defense when you use Dig, and you get a knock-up increase on the Dig Plus, and then your Earthquake slows Earthquake Plus. Dragon Rush now slows. Dragon Rush Plus is unstoppable, and your Dragon Claw Plus slows and gets an attack. The attack speed boost was removed. So again, they're buffing the Earth moveset and a little bit of a nerf to the Dragon moveset. Not sure which side is going to be better, the Earth or the Dragon moveset, but hopefully these can bring Garchomp up a little bit. I know he's been buffed before, but it still hasn't reached uh, the meta yet, so we'll see. Zera, unspecified bug fix. No surprises there. Always seem to be bugs. And then this is a pretty exciting change, battle items. It's good to see that they're trying to change battle items because it seems like everybody is just using full heal or eject button. So it's good to see them try these things. X attack now also increases basic attack speed. So things like Cinderace, Greninja, possible improvement. And then slow smoke now reduces the attack speed, and the duration is increased, and the slow is harsher. So I think slow smoke could be an interesting item on those melee tanks that want to get into the front lines. You could slow smoke the other team, reduce their attack speed, slow them down. Uh, could be interesting. And that is the full patch. I definitely think they they did a good job. They hit things that definitely needed it, like Dragonite and Serena. They gave buffs to things that needed it, like Charizard and Decidueye. Um, Kind of surprised they didn't buff things like Slowbro or Cramorant, things you don't see in the game a lot right now. But other than that, I think they did a really good job, and I'm looking forward to trying these out. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe for more Pokemon Unite videos. Otherwise, I will check you in the next one.